Dart School presents tallies, frequency tables, stem and leaf plots. A tally table is used to keep a record when you're counting things. Tallies are grouped in fives to make it easier to count the tally marks. A frequency table shows the totals of the tally marks. Let's find out what all that means with the help of an example. Lucy prepares 4 tea flavors. She labels them as A, B, C and D and then asks people to taste them and say which one they prefer. Following are the results. So the first person she asked said that flavor A is his or her favorite. The second person voted for C and so on. Draw a tally table to organize the results. So we would need to draw a table, have 2 columns on it, and name the first one as the flavor and have A, B, C and D on it, and name the second column as tally. The first one is A, so we will draw a line under A like this. This line is called a tally mark. The second one is a C. Let's do it for a C. A again. Here you go. C again. B, B, B. 3 B's. 1, 2, 3. 3 tally marks under B. Then we have a C and then a D. C, then a D, and then 3 A's together, 1, 2, 3. Now we will do 1, 2, and the third one will actually go across these 4, so that the tally marks are grouped in fives. In the end, it's easier for you to count how many groups of 5 are there. And then the 6th one will again be a vertical tally mark. Now we have 4 B's, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do 1 B, that makes it 4. 2 goes across, and 3 and 4 starts off the next group. C, D, C, D, A, A, start of a new group, A, A, D, 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 B, C, D, B, C makes a group of 5, D makes a group of 5 again, B, C, D gone, A, triple B, A, 1, 2, the second group of 5 on B is finished, and the third B starts a new group, A, double D, A, double D, and then triple A. 1A completes the next group. You have 2 more A's. So this is what you call a tally table, and like I said, these are the tally marks. Grouped in 5 so that it's easy to count. You could easily look at the tally marks on A and say that, okay, here's a group of 5, here's another group of 5, that makes it 10. So the number for A is 12. For B, the number is 11, 5 plus 5 plus 1, and so on. And you could also add a frequency column to this table. That's the frequency. And frequency just means the total count. So we have 12 for A, 11 for B, 5 for C, and 7 for D. And then you could have a total row right at the bottom. Say this is total. And if you add up the frequencies, you get the total. That's 35. So that immediately tells you that 35 people were surveyed. This is how you draw up a tally and a frequency table. A frequency table that has results arranged in groups is called a grouped frequency table. The groups are called class intervals. Class intervals should never overlap. Let's find out what that means with the help of another example. The scores obtained in a test by a group of students are as follows. And you have the scores here. Draw a grouped frequency table for the data. So we draw a table, have two columns on it, have the scores on one side and the frequency on the other side, and this time the scores are grouped, which means we have a group of 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and 90 to 99. If you look at the data, there's one score in the 40s, that's 42. So we put a frequency of 1 in 40 to 49. In other words, there's only one score between 40 and 49, both inclusive. Similarly, there is only one score 59, that's between 50 and 59. So we put a 1 here. 1, 2 scores in the 60s. 1, 2, 3 scores in the 70s. For the 80s we have 1, 2, 3. 3 scores in the 80s. And I believe there's only one score in the 90s, that's 91. And it's important that the class intervals should not overlap. These are called the class intervals. And they should not overlap means the same number shouldn't be a part of two different class intervals. Imagine if you had a 50 to 59 and again a 59 to a 69, then you would never know into which group you would put this score of 59. Would it go under the 50 to 59 group or the 59 to 69 group, right? So to clear that air of confusion, it's important that the class intervals do not overlap, meaning the same number should not be a part of two different class intervals. If you look at this frequency table, it gives you an overall idea about the performance of the class as a whole. So you know there was only one student who scored in the 90s, 3 students who scored in the 80s, 3 more students who scored in the 70s, and so on. But did you realize that you actually lost the individual scores? For example, you don't know what were the scores of the 3 students who scored in the 80s. So the actual scores are lost. And to overcome this disadvantage, we have something called a stem and leaf plot. In a stem and leaf plot, you have the stems on one side and the leaves on the other. Stem and leaf. The stems are the tens or the other significant digits. In this case, we have the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s as the stems. And then the only score in the 40s is a 42, so we have a 2 on the leaf side. You combine the stem and the leaf to get one data value, 42. Similarly, for the 50s, there was only one score, that's 59, so you have 9 as the only leaf. For the 60s though, you have a 67 and a 65. Now you could have written a 7, comma a 5, but if you want to draw an ordered stem and leaf plot, that means the leaves must be ordered from smallest to largest. So 5 comes first, comma 7, which means there were two data points in the 60s as shown in this frequency table. The first one is a 65, the second one is a 67. Similarly, for the 70s, we have a 73, we have a 78, and we also have a 75. So I'm going to order them 3, 5, 8. That reads as 73, 75, and 78. For the 80s, we have a 87, 85, and 88. So 85, 87, 88, and there's only one score in the 90s, that's 91. That almost completes our ordered stem and leaf plot, almost, because you want to include a key at the bottom to tell somebody how to read your stem and leaf plot. So you would say key 4/2, a vertical slash, not an oblique one, means 42. So somebody who is reading this table knows how to read the numbers. This means 42, this means 59, and so on.